5D Earth is unfolding all around us, but in order to perceive it, we must turn our attention inward. 5D Earth can only be perceived from the inside out, never from the outside in. What this means is that those whose perception of the world is shaped by external stimuli, television, newspapers, internet, politicians, even scientists, to the extent that their perception of the world is informed by these things, to that extent they perceive only the third density world. To that extent they can only interact with third density outcomes. To that extent they can only unfold third density futures. However, those whose perception of the world is shaped by internal stimuli, intuition, imagination, love, to the extent that their perception of the world is informed by these things, to that extent they are able to perceive the fifth density world. The reason for this is that the infinitude of creation is within you. You are the force acting on the universe, not the other way round, lest you choose it to be so. You are the spark of creation. You are the witness of being. The limitations you encounter are merely the framework of your canvas, the stage and the props of your theatre. It is your prerogative to start painting a new picture on a new canvas, to start redefining the parameters of the stage upon which you choose to perform your art, your expression. I am the Bard of Andromeda. This channel is my canvas. The unfolding 5D world I express here is my vision of that which I invite to come to pass. What's yours? What do you invite to come to pass? The first vision I would like to share with you is a vision of May 2040. The old world is falling away fast. A buzz of excitement surrounding the continent of Antarctica has been going on for some years now. There are jobs and opportunities galore on the southernmost continent, which some are starting to rename Atlantarctica. Mind-boggling sums of funding have been released into the various projects now underway there. This funding has come from the enormous trusts that were set up in the early to mid-20s in the wake of the unspeakable revelations of that time, which resulted in the litigation, liquidation and confiscation of the assets of the world's organised criminal cartels, which had blighted mankind for longer than we care to remember. Many had feared at least a generation of economic depression, but the opposite has proved to be the case. With the purging of so much political, economic and spiritual corruption, mankind has started to fly with jaw-dropping, daring and energy, as though it wants to put as much distance as possible between its present and its dark past. And in this boom period of the 20s and 30s, new investors and entrepreneurs found out about the opportunities posed by Antarctica. They found out about the mysterious and magnificent ancient cities buried under the ice for tens of thousands of years. They found out about the remains of non-human intelligent life forms and of giants twice our stature amongst the ruins. They found curious contraptions of high technology that still hummed with dim power in spite of all the forgotten millennia since their last use. They found engravings that bore tantalizing similarities to the as yet undeciphered written form known as Linear A. They discovered that the world's powers had known about some of these things and kept them above top secret since at least the 1930s, seeking to harvest their secrets for the privileged few, the elites who dreamed of forming a breakaway society from the masses of humanity they so despised and disdained. But the world is different now. A bright light had been shone on the dark shepherds and their dark visions, and, after a period of great trauma and self-doubt, mankind is finally learning how to start to heal itself. But more on that in a later vision. And so, my frequency neighbours, the uninhabited ice continent has begun to explode with exciting opportunities as the 30s give way to the 40s. Still, there are those who voice their concerns, as there always will be, and there always should be. Antarctica, they remind us, is an unspoilt natural wilderness, the only remaining pristine continent on Earth. These concerns do not strike the same chord of fear as they did 20 and more years ago, however. It is becoming increasingly clear that nothing is as it was. Clean energy and waste disposal devices that still few people trust and even fewer understand are becoming increasingly available. Trust is the biggest marketing obstacle nowadays. But more on that in a later vision. Some dare to take that leap of faith into the unknown, to embrace the emerging fifth density world with integrity and a resolve to do no harm in their hearts, but not to fear. There are still those who fear in May 2040, still a great many of them. They cling to the old ways, and they seldom miss an opportunity to voice their skepticism, as they always will, and as they always should. Those who fear shun the new opportunities ushered in by the 40s. They mistrust the vision, they mistrust the technology, the funding, the new investors. It's totally understandable. They remember only too well how we were all duped not so long ago, and how close to disaster and darkness our nascent species surfed. Discretion is the better part of valor, they often remind us of a more optimistic bent. And the road to hell is paved with good intentions. But we are a far wiser species now in May 2040 than we were a generation or so ago. We have a much better idea what the road to hell looks, sounds, and smells like, and there are enough of us who refuse to be defined by our collective traumas. And so, we take these new jobs and new scholarships, and we expand our scientific and cultural horizons in the directions that were barred from us not so very long ago, because such things are our birthright. And because we learned that, given a choice between our birthright and our fears, one leads to growth and the other leads only to dissolution and decay. In May 2040, excitement and optimism are in the ascendant. This is a vision the Bard of Andromeda has chosen to share with the world at this time. Who among you would greet me there?